Hi everybody, thanks for watching. It's so good to see you all again, and if you're new here, then welcome. If you're anything like me, then you've been glued to the TV following the tragic story of the LA wildfires. My heart is absolutely breaking for all of those people affected by the fires, and also the firefighters and all of those support organisations out there trying to offer as much assistance as possible. But for those of you who aren't aware, there's actually a huge bushfire burning right here in Australia. It's actually about an hour away from where I live, and it's absolutely devastating our native wildlife.
Multiple bushfires are burning out of control as we go to air tonight, with a dangerous wind change forcing residents in the Grampians to seek shelter or flee their homes.
The fire is contained, but it is still burning. And with more hot temperatures predicted in the coming days and weeks, there are expected to be a huge number of casualties among our native wildlife. Wildlife rescue groups in our local area have already been inundated with calls for help for injured and orphaned wildlife, and they haven't even been granted access to the most affected areas of the fire yet. So when they are given access, those numbers are just going to grow exponentially. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm telling you all of this. You might be sitting there thinking, that's absolutely awful and I'd really love to help, but I live overseas. What can I do? Well, my beautiful friend Kerry and I, thank you for all your help, Kerry, have been doing a bunch of research on different organisations that you may be able to support if you can assist financially. For the LA fires, there's the Pasadena Humane Animal Shelter, the LA County Animal Care Foundation, and the California Wildlife Center. I also found a list of other shelters that are offering support, so I've put that list down in the description below. For the Grampians fire here in Australia, there's also a number of wildlife shelters that could really use the help. There's the Wildwood Wildlife Shelter, the Hamilton Wildlife Shelter, and also the Animal Rescue Cooperative. So I've listed all of their details down in the description below, as well as links to pages that have wish lists and a list of different support needs that they have that you may be able to buy directly, such as bags of food, medical supplies, and other important items that they desperately need. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list. There's probably a number of other support organisations out there doing some wonderful work that desperately need the help as well. So if you're aware of any other organisation like that, please by all means list their details down in the comments section so we can help spread the word about all the good work they're doing. Okay, so what if you're not in a position to be able to help out financially? Is there anything that you can do? Well, there absolutely is. And I'm guessing you're probably doing it right now. Are you sitting there crocheting? Or maybe you're knitting? Or maybe you're a sewer? I'll bet you are. And you know what? There's absolutely so much that you can be doing to help out. Let me explain. There are two organisations in particular that have put the call out for crafters who want to help during times of crisis, both here and in America, by using their crochet, knitting and sewing skills. They are the Animal Rescue Cooperative here in Australia and the Relief Crafters of America over in the States. Now, both organisations provide a large number of patterns in their libraries. So the Relief Crafters of America, who are helping crafters make a difference around the globe. That's just awesome. Look at that. And look at these fantastic donations. Aren't they wonderful? Here's a fun fact for you. The Relief Crafters of America were actually established to help create and provide donated items to us here in Australia during our recent bushfires. Now the organisation helps promote multiple different support organisations, and they rotate that on a monthly basis. So the Relief Crafters of America, this is their Facebook page, and you do need to be accepted as part of their Relief Crafters of America group. So you'll see here that I'm a joined member. So you will need to gain access or to request access to the group before you'll be able to access any of this. You come down to these tabs down here, and we want to find the one that says Guides. So if you click on Guides, that will then bring you down to some really important information. So you'll see things that you need to know, recommendation forms, with an organisation that needs crafted goods, all those sorts of things. You've got shipping questions. So where do I send my crafted items? How do I wash my items to prepare for shipping? So there's some really important stuff there. Scrolling back down, you've got ongoing needs and pattern files. So here is where you'll find all of those patterns for the Relief Crafters of America to use. So I'm not going to click on that because you need to be part of the group to access them, but that's where you'll find all that information. So scrolling down, you can see that there's some more monthly projects down here for different areas, and also some tutorial videos just down here. How to make pom-poms, lots of little helpful videos down there. So that's the Relief Crafters of America Facebook group. And we found all of that information on the guides tab, which is great. So on the Animal Rescue Cooperative Facebook page, you'll find some tabs down here, and you want to scroll across to the Files tab. Now, once again, you need to be a member of the group. You'll see that there, that I'm a joined member. So you need to request access to the group. They'll then accept you into the group, and you can go down to the Files tab here, and you'll be able to see a huge list of different patterns that are available for all of us to access so that we can create and donate all of those wonderful, wonderful supplies that they need. The Animal Rescue Cooperative also have a website called the Animal Rescue Cooperative Craft Guild. Now, this was established specifically for all of us crafters to be able to access the information that we need. So you can see here on their home page, we're on the home tab. You can access the patterns here by clicking on that button there, and that'll show you some patterns or some information about patterns here. It also tells you what's needed. So you can see here in this chart what's needed most, what's high need, what's moderate need, and what's low need. So you can work your way through here and see that possum palaces and possum pods are in high need. You can see that crochet nests are moderate, bat wraps down here are in low need, which is fantastic. So you can always check that. That always gets updated very recently so that you can see exactly what's required. And if you scroll up the top here to all files, you'll see the library of patterns on here. Now, there are more patterns on the Facebook page. So we'll just go back to the Facebook page and you'll see that there's a lot more than 15 patterns on here. But if you are on the website and you go to all files, you'll see that there's a list here that you can also filter based on the craft that you're using. So if you're a crocheter, you've got your patterns here. If you're a knitter or a sewer, then you've got all your patterns down here and you can filter through that. Then you click on the link beside it. So let's say I'm a sewer that wants to make some drawstring backpacks. Click on that and it opens up the pattern for you right there. So nice and easy to access. Isn't that wonderful? All of the patterns are free and easy to follow, and they've been designed to use up all of your scrap yarn, so they're perfect stash busters. It's really hard to say. And designed to use up your leftover material if you're a sewer. So isn't that great? So after telling you all of that, I thought it would be a great idea to show you some of the things that I've been working on. And if you watched my previous video, now you know why I needed the chunky acrylic yarn. It's because I'm using it to make these. Aren't they adorable? This is a hanging possum pod. Isn't it adorable? It's so cute. Little baby possums get in there and they get all curled up and they get nice and comfy and warm. It's so cute. Let me give you a closer look. These possum pods are absolutely brilliant, so all credit to the pattern designer. This is nice and simple, easy to work up, and essentially you just use a little bit of chunky acrylic. So I've got some here. Picked this up from a thrift store just the other day, so I'm really looking forward to working with that. And we've also got some 10 ply or worsted weight. So for us Aussies, we can use this 12 ply chunky acrylic. This is just the Anko brand from Kmart. It's only a few dollars and I've got it spare in my stash, so why not use that? And the Four Seasons Spot Saver 10 ply. Now, if you're overseas, then you can use the Red Heart Super Saver yarn. That's exactly the same thickness and gauge, so that works up beautifully. So basically, you just work with the two of these together to get the support that you need for the possum pod to keep its shape. So we don't want these wobbly or falling apart. It needs to stay within that right shape for the little possums to sit inside of it. We don't want it collapsing on them while they're in there. Poor little buggers. So essentially, you start with a magic circle on the base here and just increase as you go until you've got a basic diameter of 7 inches. Then you do a front loop only row of single crochet, work up a few rows, and then you do your first hanging hook. Now, I don't think I got this right the first time, believe it or not. The pattern wasn't quite clear on exactly how you needed to work the hook. So I did the best that I could with how to join it. And then with my second attempt up here, it's much more secure. So I think what I'll need to do down here is just put a little stitch in there just to secure it and just hold that in place. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's pretty secure, but it's not as secure as this one. So you can see here I did the single crochet across both stitches, and I didn't do that down here. I did a single crochet here, worked my way around, and then kept going with the rest of the row instead of securing across both loops. So that's a bit of a tip for you if you do make one of these pods. A couple of rows of single crochet, then your decreases, and then you do the neck of the pod there. And that's basically it. But the structure of this is just fantastic. It stands on its own. It holds its shape. Working with 2 strands, this was a first for me. So my tension's really tight, which means this thing's pretty pretty almost indestructible, I would say. But how brilliant. And you know what? Once I've donated a bunch of these, I think I'm going to knock one up for my backyard, because we've got a lot of possums running around in the backyard at the moment. And who knows if they need somewhere safe and warm to protect them for a little while, get them away from the neighborhood cats and dogs and everything. And if I can help them, why wouldn't I? So that's a beautiful little possum pod there. I'll make a couple more of these, and I'm looking forward to making some possum palaces as well, which are a little bit bigger. So they are basically long tubes that work along like that, with a little window in the middle and some hanging hooks at the top, so you can hang it upright in your trees or inside your home, or for the carer's home, I should say, so that they can look after those beautiful possums. So I'll make a couple of those as well. But that's the possum pod. Now just have a quick look at the birds' nests. So these are so tiny, but again, they're made exactly the same way. There's just different measurement sizes for the diameter or the base of the nest, and then you just work up your sides, just slightly bigger than the diameter of your base. So just increasing all the way around and then straight back up again. So this is an extra small and a small. From there, I'll make a medium, a large, and an extra large. So these are not just for baby birds, they're also for baby marsupials. Again, these are double-stranded, so these guys are not made with the chunky acrylic. These are just 2 strands of the 10 ply or the worsted weight yarn, and that's strong enough to keep their shape. So you need to be mindful of the fact that baby birds, once they start to flex their wings, they're going to perch on the sides here. So your nest needs to be able to hold its shape so that it's strong enough to support them on the edges of the nest. Now, all the patterns have requested that you please don't use glittery or fancy yarn or textured yarn, because if you do that, the little animals that are nesting in there are going to chew and nibble on these little nests and their possum pods. And if you do that, then that's going to be a health hazard for them. They're very likely to choke if there's anything sticking out, if there's any fibres or anything sticking out. So just stick to plain old acrylic if possible, and make sure that the acrylic you're using is machine washable. So all of the carers can throw these in the wash, get them nice and clean, and reuse them for the next lot. Beautiful. So that's everything, guys. I hope this video has been helpful. I hope it even inspired you to pick up a crochet hook or a knitting needle, or even get the old sewing machine out and just whip up a couple of Joey pouches. I am sure they will absolutely be appreciated. If you're not able to help financially, then there are so many more things that you can be doing to help, if you're able to. I understand not everybody's in a fantastic situation and not everybody can help, so that's completely understandable. But if you can help, that would be so wonderful. If you know any friends or any support groups that might like to get involved, by all means share this video among all your friends and let them know what you're doing. Get them involved. Maybe a group of you could sit around and one could work on the small nest while somebody else works on a bigger one. That would be fantastic. Everybody get together and have a bit of a crafting session to help all those beautiful animals and all those lovely support carers that are out there doing that hard work to save our beautiful animals. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys. See you next time.